organizing follow-up webinars in the next couple of months, and we'll tell you more about those as we really work together with our great partner at Share Our Strengths and our great funding partner at Sodexo Foundation to really tackle this issue. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Patty Gentry at Share Our Strengths to tell you a little bit about the issue of childhood hunger. Patty?
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. Well, I just want to reiterate, I'm really excited to have all of you guys on the call because it means that you've taken an interest and likely are already doing really great work in your own backyards. We're just really excited to talk to you about the issue of childhood hunger and ways that you can support our effort at the local level. Really quickly, I think, Michael, you're going to go to the Hunger Facts page, but I just wanted to sort of lay the groundwork. Why is this issue really important? Why are we talking about childhood hunger now? There's more than 16 million kids in America that live in households that struggle to put food on the table. That's 1 in 5 kids who struggle with hunger in America. And the thing that we know about childhood hunger, and you probably know, is that it's solvable. It's an access issue in the United States. And here at No Kid Hungry and Share Our Strength, we believe that no child should grow up hungry in America. We are sort of working to end childhood hunger in America by ensuring that children have access to food each day where they live, learn, and play. And what I'm really excited, we all also know that this doesn't have to be an issue. We know that it affects kids, their ability to learn, their ability to grow. It affects them from the health side in terms of getting sick more often. And what's really exciting is that we really envision an America where teen advocates understand this as a crisis in America and are also dedicated to ending it.
Great. Thanks so much, Patty. And now I'd like to introduce Chandra Jenkins, President of the Sodexo Foundation, to tell you a little bit about why they support addressing childhood hunger.
Thanks, Karen, and hello to everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Engaging Youth and Fighting Childhood Hunger. My name is Chandra Jenkins. I'm the Executive Director for Sodexo Foundation and have the pleasure of working with Youth Service America and Share Our Strengths No Kid Hungry campaign. One of the main priorities for the Sodexo Foundation's philanthropic activities is to engage youth in the national anti-hunger movement by encouraging and educating a new generation of passionate leaders who will advocate for this cause among their peers and among their friends. Today's webinar is designed to introduce young people, you, to the issue of childhood hunger and to raise awareness of both the issue and opportunities to respond. And there are so many fun ways to get involved right now, this September, during End It With Orange. So enjoy today's webinar. We look forward to having you join us next month when we hear from young people leading efforts to recover surplus food to feed families and children. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chandra, and thanks for all of your support that makes our collective work possible. With just a quick housekeeping announcement, I want to introduce my colleague Mike Minks to tell you about how you can ask questions on this webinar.
Good evening, everyone. We'll have a designated question and answer time after we go through the calls to action. But during that time, or at any point in the webinar, you can ask questions in a couple of different ways. You can either use the questions or the chat feature. If you look in the webinar menu bar, which should be on the right-hand side of your screen, towards the bottom you'll see a questions area and a chat area. You might have to click the little plus sign right to the left of those words to make it show up if they're not open right now. But you can type in questions or in either of those places, and we'll read them when we get to the question and answer time. The other option is on the top left, at the left side of the menu bar, where the little buttons are, you'll see a little hand symbol. And you can click that and it'll show us that you're raising your hand. And then when we get to the question and answer time, we can unmute your line and you can ask your question directly. So if you think of a question while we're going through all of the calls to action, you can save it and raise your hand when we get to the Q&A time. Back to you, Karen.
Thanks, Mike. Now I'd like to turn it back to Patty at Share Our Strengths to tell you a bit about Share Our Strengths End It With Orange campaign and preview 5 very specific ways that you can get involved in childhood hunger.
Great. Thanks, Karen. So you may be asking, why September? What's so important about this month? And, what can I do to help? September is Hunger Action Month, and we here at Share Our Strengths have sort of branded it as No Kid Hungry Month. It's our annual opportunity to really activate our entire supporter network and draw national attention to the crisis of childhood hunger in America and the solutions of the No Kid Hungry campaign. This is a month where, just sort of across the board, a lot of the anti-hunger charities are really focused on this single mission of raising awareness of the issue of child hunger. Really sort of, you may be asking, why are we also the orange color? Where does that come from? So orange is actually the color of hunger awareness, and we all know that's a very bold color. We have a very bold solution here at No Kid Hungry, and this September, you can really help raise awareness, and it's a problem we can solve, and it's a time that you can get involved now. Like Karen mentioned, there are 5 key ways that you can help end it with orange. It's sort of our terminology here. And it's pledge, wear, dine, share, and engage. And we'll sort of go through each of those calls to action in a little bit more detail in the upcoming minutes in the call.
Thanks, Patty. Before we jump in, we're delighted to introduce 2 amazing young people that are with us tonight that have done a huge amount of work to address the issue of childhood hunger in their states. Here at YSA, we're fortunate to have Brittany Amano with us. Brittany is 16 years old. She's from Honolulu, Hawaii, and she founded her own nonprofit organization called Hawaii's Future Isn't Hungry. Through various strategies, her nonprofit has collected 98,000 pounds of food so far and has served over 180,000 meals throughout Hawaii to homeless families. So she'll be sharing with you some of the innovative strategies that she and her nonprofit organization have used. Patty, would you like to introduce Elizabeth?
Awesome, sure. So we also have Elizabeth Meyer on the phone, who is a junior at, I hope I'm going to say this right, Palmyra High School in Palmyra, Missouri. She is one of our champion No Kid Hungry supporters. She's done a lot of work just presenting and raising awareness about the issue of childhood hunger, helping to encourage her peers get more involved and more engaged and to take action in their community. And then she's also involved with another partner of ours, SECLA, as their Region 3 Missouri Association president.
Great. Well, thank you for being with us, Brittany and Elizabeth. So with that said, why don't we jump into the first call to action that Patty mentioned, and that's around the area of pledging. Patty and Elizabeth, do you want to start there?
Sure. So around the pledge specifically, this is just a really easy online, you can provide us with your email or your cell phone number to join the national movement of people who are committed to ending childhood hunger in America. And it really is just that. Once you're sort of in the fold, we'll continue to email you, engage with you via text message or social media, and pushing out the actions that are sort of the hot actions at that time.
Very good. Brittany, would you like to add in some of your own thoughts?
Yes, definitely. So with what they were saying earlier about raising awareness, and by using the color orange, pledge to do something in your community. It can be something small, like just wearing orange to school and letting your friends know about the problem of childhood hunger, to getting a group of friends to do that and just educating them, to signing up to help at a local food shelter, or helping or starting your own food drive in your community. Just start small, and you never know what it can grow into.
And Brittany, I think this is Mike at YSA, and you were also saying earlier about your experience that getting people to pledge or to commit to action is often the first step to actually getting them involved in a longer term. people may not want to jump right into, a big project or a long experience, but they're willing to say they want to help out. And as you capture people's information, you can then go back to them and call them to the actions that you want. So, for example, what are some of the things that you have people do through your work?
Okay, so definitely. So when I was 9, I started off by just grabbing 4 of my closest friends and starting a food drive to help our local homeless shelter. And we just kept on doing this about every 2 months, and then eventually it started growing bigger. We held a local walkathon to raise money for the food bank, and we asked people to burn cans, and it just kept on growing, but just small projects like that. And after that, I decided to start a nonprofit to make a bigger impact, because I knew that feeding the hunger was really what I was passionate about. So what I did was I grabbed, just from the 4 youth volunteers I had, they also started helping to recruit other volunteers, and we've grown to now having over 450 youth volunteers across the country. And we have youth volunteers door knocking every single weekend for fresh produce, and soliciting local farmers for donations, and serving over 300 meals a week now. And we're also starting a backpack program this year to get into local schools throughout our state to give youth who might not have meals on weekends, nutritious meals to take home with them.
Amazing what can start by just asking someone to help and to pledge their support for your work.
Definitely.
Great. Thank you, Patty and Brittany. So moving on to that foundation of pledging action, our second call to action is around the idea of wearing. And Patty, I'll send it back to you.
Sure. So wear. This is an easy one. The color of hunger is orange. Share the color of hunger in your community through social media, special events, orange wear, and more. This is sort of your opportunity to go really crazy and wear everything orange in your wardrobe. You can also localize it, pick a theme throughout your local community, and whether that's an event that you have going on, you can wear orange to that particular event. And we're really just leaving it up to you to be creative. You can also we have a timeline for our End It With Orange is the hashtag to use, where we're spreading the word starting on September 25th through the 30th, but it's entirely up to you. If you're going out to a local restaurant and you want to wear your orange and post it to Facebook, that's fantastic too. And I know Elizabeth had a couple ideas around creative ways to wear the color orange as well.
Yeah, some great ways that we have got people involved on a whole community level is through sporting events, because we have a lot of sports fans, and I know a lot of towns have big sports teams, and they all come, you get the entire community together. So if you encouraged all those sports fans to wear their favorite orange shirt to a game, then you could definitely raise awareness, because that would get noticed, because like you said before, orange is a very bold color, so it won't go unnoticed when so many people are wearing orange. And you can hang up posters that say, wear orange for childhood hunger awareness, and so people will start to think, and then maybe that's when you can go back to them pledging, and so then you'll get support on an entire community's level through a sporting event or just a local event that several people are going to go to.
Excellent idea. I love that strategy. With that, why don't we move on to the third call to action item, which is Dine.
Great. So this is probably the most tasty call to action. You can do good while dining out. This September, thousands of restaurants in every state are teaming up with No Kid Hungry to help end childhood hunger in America, one meal at a time. There's approximately over 7,500 restaurants who are participating coast to coast. And the really exciting thing is that you can go in on our website and put in your zip code to find out which restaurants are closest to you. We encourage you to really take a moment, visit the map. You can see it popping up on the webinar now. find a local participating restaurant on our Restaurant Finder map. Take your friends, your family, anyone who wants to come. You can invite people on the street if you want to. And take the time to really have a good meal. Thank the staff and managers for their support of No Kid Hungry. And it's another opportunity to wear orange and share on social media as well. And I do think Elizabeth has some creative ideas for dining out and enjoying a great meal while doing good.
Sure. In my school, we do a lot of study sessions where we get a big group of friends, and we usually go out to a local restaurant. And this month is a very good opportunity for us to switch around where we're going and to find one of the local restaurants supporting No Kid Hungry and just go there instead. We can all sit in there and we can wear our orange shirts and we can study for an upcoming test while we are supporting No Kid Hungry and childhood hunger. And it just makes for a good outing with your friends, and you can discuss other ways besides just eating out and wearing orange that you're going to support No Kid Hungry.
That's fabulous. Thank you. We were looking up restaurants around our office area, and there are a lot of choices. So the fourth call to action area is around share.
Awesome. So every action, big or small, really can add up. And the more you spread the word, the more awareness people will have around the issue. We all know how important social media is to our daily lives, to communicating with our friends, our families, the people we care about, and the causes we care about. And I think one of the really easy things that we can all do is share what we're passionate about through our social media sites. We have some really easy tools for you to do that through the No Kid Hungry campaign. You can flip your Facebook and Twitter pages to orange with our digital assets that are available online. You can see a few of the designs there on the webinar. And then sharing photos to really raise awareness and show your support using the hashtags, hashtag No Kid Hungry or hashtag End It With Orange. And wear orange in public or at work in your local community to make a really big statement in a big way. And share your personal stories. We want to hear your ideas for what works in your community, how people are getting connected to food, what barriers are people facing, those sorts of things as well. And I know Elizabeth does have some fun ideas here as well.
Yes, I do. I just wanted to say that when I first started working with No Kid Hungry and doing a childhood hunger awareness program in my community, the first thing I did was set up a Facebook page. And sooner than we thought would happen, we had a couple hundred people that had liked the page. And from the posts that we had put on there, people were starting to see that hunger actually is an issue in our community, and people were coming up to me and telling me that they never knew because we're such a small town and everyone kind of thought that, you don't see homeless people on the street and so no one is going hungry. And I have actually had several people come up to me in the store or on the street and just tell me that through the program, No Kid Hungry, school breakfasts, summer meals, and just everything that we've been doing in my community, they have been able to feed their kids, and they were so grateful. And it was through social media that I was able to connect with those people. And social media is so important to high schoolers and middle schoolers and college students, so it's an easy way to spread awareness because most of us are already on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram several times a day, so we're not taking any time out of our day that we weren't already on social media to just say, hey, go support No Kid Hungry, go to Arby's next door or something like that, to where you can just spread awareness on a bigger level to all your social media friends and followers. And it just makes it easier, and it's fun because it's on a level of our age group. And so they'll be like, yeah, that's cool. It was on Facebook. That's pretty cool that they're doing that. And so it's fun for them to get involved also.
Perfect. Thank you, Elizabeth. Our fifth call to action is engage. And Patty, I'll turn it back to you.
Awesome. Well, I think this is really the call to action to sort of, after you've worn your orange, you've dined out, you've shared your story or shared on social media, and you're thinking at home, what can I do that's a little bit deeper? I want to share with you all our teen art and writing contest. This year we have sort of opened up a challenge to think beyond canned food drives and to just really deepen your understanding of one of our most important issues of this time, childhood hunger, and really believe that this generation sort of holds the idealism to really move long-term solutions forward. And we want to hear your ideas. And the great thing, too, is that, and who knows, you might win a scholarship. The youth contest, which you can see here, is a couple different formats. We're encouraging entries in written, in poem, video, and short story. And I really encourage you, I know they're going to send out the link post, to really take a look at this as a viable opportunity for you to really deepen your understanding about the issue of childhood hunger and to really help us hear your ideas of what's going to work in your community.
Great, thank you. You'll also see here on the screen one of YSA's resources, 10 ways you can help end childhood hunger, as well as the resource where you can access that on our website. And I know Brittany has some ideas to share as well.
Okay, so for the way I engage other youth to help with ending childhood hunger in my community is by just going to, first of all, educate them about the issue and show them that it is a prominent issue in the community, and then by just having them get involved in small projects, having them come out to certain events. I know at my school it was going through clubs such as the Key Club, or maybe something like the FCCLA or the Leo Club, or community service clubs, or if your school has a requirement, making sure to give those kids hours and letting them know that they can do stuff like coming out to your food drive and that you'll give them hours in return. In terms of having fundraisers, making sure that they're fun and that you can engage your peers. It's something that you would want to go to. Something that's really popular in my town is having barbecues at the beach, something as simple as that, or just going out to a water park and charging a little bit extra than what it'll cost to use the facility, and maybe even asking the facility owner if you can use it for a discounted price since you're using it for a fundraiser. And being able to donate all that money towards tackling childhood hunger, those are the ways that I personally engage people. And youth generally would be interested, but a lot of them just need to learn how, and they want to learn how. And yeah.
Thanks, Brittany. Those are some great ideas. So we've heard a lot of amazing ideas in the last few minutes, and now we wanted to take a little bit of time to answer some of your questions, and we have some of that have come in, so I will let Mike take it from there.
They were actually pretty technical questions.
Okay.
So I know if you want to go into one of your questions, Karen, that would be a good step.
Sure, sounds good. So a question that I wanted to throw out, which is that childhood hunger can be an intimidating issue to address due to the sheer size of the problem, and some people might think they don't know where to start because it's so big. How have you made the issue more approachable for people?
I think I personally made the issue more approachable by just letting them know that even though the issue is so big, and I know in Hawaii, like while we might seem like a land of paradise, we have the highest homelessness rate per capita in the whole United States, and just being able to explain to them that even if they make a difference on one person, or just by raising like a small amount of money, they still made a difference, and that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And by making it more approachable, it's basically just showing them that they can make a difference and that it's not too big of an issue to tackle. And by if you're experienced in it, then walking them through, or maybe working on it together with a group of friends, then it'll make everything a lot more easy to step into.
And we do have one question.
Okay.
As a reminder, you can type questions into the chat box or use the little hand button to raise your hand, and we can unmute your line. This is a question from Tiffany, who is a vice president of a club in her school called the Feeding America Club. And kids in her school keep asking for more ways to volunteer in the community involving hunger-related issues. Any other ideas of going back to your point around how you engage people once you've raised awareness around the issue? What else might she call on kids in her school to do?
Well, I personally feel that just going out and to your local food bank and asking them ways that you can volunteer, whether it's by helping them sort through things or by starting a small food drive in your community, or whether it's asking elected officials to support a bill that's getting passed in your community to maybe expand SNAP benefits, then just doing things like that and just making sure that they're aware of the issue, and if they show interest, then just getting them to go to the right resources. So I know our food bank, our food bank always needs help, and I'm sure every food bank across the country would really appreciate the help.
And going back to the resource that we pointed out on the last slide, most of the areas that you just mentioned, Brittany, are included as in those 10 ways to fight childhood hunger,
right.
Including, you mentioned the raising awareness around SNAP benefits,
right.
the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and some of those other ideas. So, and all of the links to the resources on how to do each of those things are on that page as well. So all of those are great ideas for Tiffany and all the kids at her school.
Patty or Elizabeth, anything you wanted to chime in there?
I think Brittany was very spot on when she was talking about that. It takes a little bit, and I think a lot of people, when they think about the problem of childhood hunger, it seems like such a big issue. But one of my favorite quotes is from Mother Teresa, and it says, if you can't feed 100 people, then feed just one. And it really applies here because 16.2 million children seems like such a big number, and it is, but when you focus on how you're helping one individual person in your community, then you can expand from there.
Very good. I think we have time for one more question, and that is, have you found particularly effective ways to recognize volunteers for their work with you and their accomplishments?
Well, what I've personally been doing is by giving certain kids who are really involved and are really passionate about the issue titles. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if it's a lot of kids personally just want the title just so that they feel important and that they feel recognized and that they're actually doing something. So I've been able to make some of them like state organizers or organizers in their school, and just giving them this type of leadership opportunity and that responsibility, it makes them want to do more and expand. And some of them have come up with really good ideas. There's this one boy that has been working with me for quite some time now, and he's really connected with with various country clubs. So he's starting a golf tournament, a charity golf tournament for to fight childhood hunger in a couple months, and just that's a great way to engage people. Another great way is through fundraisers is by making sure that it's kid-friendly and that that they would enjoy it. So maybe by having something where people would go out to normally, like going ice skating or going out to the water park, and by having a fundraiser in that way, then a lot of youth would show up to that.
Another good question just came through on the chat box, which I think will be a good question for Elizabeth, around engaging students in a rural school district, and kind of if there's anything special around engaging or attracting students, making it an appealing issue for students to work on, especially in a rural school district.
Right. When we first started, it was really easy for us to get people to sign up to help because everyone was interested and they were kind of curious about whether or not I was actually doing something that was affecting our community, because everybody kind of seems like it's a small town, so there aren't any issues here. And so at the beginning, we had a lot of people come in, and we just used social media a lot. and we hung up flyers. We had a booth at our Taste of Palmyra, which is a local event, and it was carnival themed, and everybody that had joined to help out wanted to go do that because it was fun. We got to work with kids. So doing things that really targets what that age group wants to do, then they're going to want to get involved, and you can kind of hook them from there about whether or not they're going to really get involved. But most people, once they get that initial taste of what it's going to be like, they get really interested, and all they want to do is help more and more from there.
Very good. Thank you. As we draw near the end of our time together, we wanted to share with you a few resources and tools as you think towards planning your project. The first is some tips and ideas around social sharing. We talked about the importance of sharing as a strategy, and you'll see here on your screen we captured amongst our 3 organizations the best things to tag, the best Twitter handles, the best Facebook links, where if you would please use these as you promote and share the good things you're doing, all 3 of our organizations would love to be able to capture those stories to both collect the collective impact of what's happening and really share those good stories out through our platform. Moving on to the next area, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you will take action and how we would love to collect those stories. So, Mike, you want to take it from here?
Yes. So the first piece to how you will share what action you think you will take after this webinar is you should be seeing a poll on your screen right now that will provide the 5 action items, and you can indicate which one you think you want to take on during the rest of this month for End It With Orange. And we will follow up in an email with a recording of this webinar with all of the links and information, and you'll be able to report which action you finally decide on as part of that email. And then finally, after the month is over, so at the beginning of October, we'll send out a follow-up survey just asking you if you actually took any of these actions and what the results were, so that we can collect that. I see a lot of people have already voted, 71% of the people on the call. Nice. So up 75, we're getting up there. And right now it looks like these percentages are going to be off because you could choose more than one. Okay. But 61% of people are saying they will pledge, 74% wear, 42% dine. I guess we don't have. I guess you all ate dinner before you got on the webinar. You're not hungry. 75% share and 95% engage. Ooh, so got lots of people going to take action. And I will go ahead. 83% so far have voted. I'll go ahead and close the poll, and results should be showing up for you. And then we can go on to the next activity or slide.
Good. Almost last but not least, all 3 of our organizations are thrilled to be able to support your work with grants and awards, and we wanted to tell you a little bit about those. Chandra, would you like to start?
Thank you. Yes. So I would like to share an opportunity for young leaders, and that is to win $10,000. We are on the cusp of the 9th annual application period for the Stephen J. Brady Stop Hunger Scholarships, which open October 5th. This scholarship program rewards students ages 5 to 25 who are driving awareness and mobilizing young people in the fight against hunger. As you saw in the previous slide, this year's campaign is around the hashtag Get5Give5. So this year, up to 5 scholarship recipients will get a $5,000 scholarship for school and will be able to give a $5,000 matching grant to the hunger charity of their choice. So I encourage you, if you have already been committed to the fight against childhood hunger, I invite you to apply October 5th through December 5th. Past scholars include a 4th grader who created a nonprofit that feeds thousands of families. Past scholars include a college student who transformed vacant inner-city lots into urban organic farms to benefit the community. And Brittany, one of today's speakers, who runs Hawaii's Future Isn't Hungry, a nonprofit that has raised nearly $600,000 and served over 180,000 meals. So please help us spread the word today. Visit sodexofoundation.org for more information and official rules, and join in our conversation on Twitter. Get 5, give 5.
Fabulous. Thank you, Chandra. Patty, would you like to follow?
Sure. Again, just to touch on the No Kid Hungry Teen Art and Writing Contest, through the generous support of the Sodexo Foundation, you guys have an opportunity to win 1 grand prize winner, and 12 runner-ups will be chosen in each category. And like I mentioned earlier, it's personal or pervasive essay, poem or short story, short film or photo essay, and artwork. And the really cool thing is, again, we're challenging you guys to think beyond canned food drives, deepen your understanding of one of the most important issues of our time, and really think and use your creative talents to think and innovate long-term solutions. And you can also see here the submission for deadline is October 17th. And you can learn more at nokidhungry.org /teen contest /.
Very good. And finally, from YSA, and also thanks to Sodexo Foundation support, we will again be offering youth grants to support youth-led projects that take place during Global Youth Service Day, which is April 17th through the 19th of next year. We will be accepting applications from approximately October 15th through January 15th, and you can find out more at ysa.org/grants. So finally, the last thing we wanted to make you aware of are continuing upcoming webinars around the issue of childhood hunger that we will be presenting again with Sodexo Foundation support. In October, we'll be looking at the issue of growing food and food recovery programs on campus. In November, we'll be focusing on food drives and food banks. And then finally, as we approach our grant season around the Sodexo Foundation Youth Grants, we will be holding online information sessions around applying for those grants. So we encourage you to continue to tune in to get more information and good resources around those 3 areas. With that, I'm going to say thank you to all of you for joining us, and particularly to Elizabeth and Brittany for sharing so many good ideas from your work, to Patty at Share Our Strength for all of your leadership around End It With Orange and sharing that with us tonight, and to Chandra Jenkins and Sodexo Foundation for your support in making all of this possible. I'll end by turning it back to Mike for a quick recap in terms of the follow-up from this call.
Thank you, Karen. By the end of this week, we'll send out a message to everyone who registered for this webinar with the link to the video so you can re-watch it if you enjoyed it so much, or share it with other folks that you know that didn't get a chance to join us this evening. And in that email, we'll also include all of the links to every action item and every resource that we mentioned, and all of the grant and scholarship and contest opportunities. We'll provide all of those links for you so you can get to all of those. And then, like I said, we will follow up in early October to see how you actually took action during the rest of the month for End It With Orange, so that we can share the results of all of your great work over the next few weeks.
Good. Thanks, Mike. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great night.